Why do we dream? Is it part of our imagining minds? It is not how you start, but how you conclude that is important. The poet George Crabbe explains, "Ah, happy who thus in magic themes, or worlds bewitched in early rapture dreams, where wild enchantment waves her potent wand, and fancy's beauties fill her fairy land, where doubtful objects strange desires excite, and fear and ignorance afford delight." Dreams are described as being successions of images, ideas, sensations, which occur in the mind involuntarily. They happen during various stages of sleep. Why they happen and the purpose thereof is not fully grasped as yet. It's a topic of scientific thought. It is a subject of philosophy. The scientific study of dreams is known as oneirology. Some theories consider that all mammals dream, but sea creatures, birds, and reptiles present a dilemma. As it is known, dreams usually happen in the REM stage, meaning rapid eye movement of sleep. During this time, the brain is active. It is as if being awake. However, dreams do not only occur during REM, but also other stages of sleep, and can take from a few seconds to about 20 minutes. During normal 8 hours of sleep, about 2 hours of REM can be observed. Many consider dreams as a connection to the unconscious. They can be normal, surreal, bizarre. They can be frightening, exciting, melancholic, adventurous, and even sexual. All the events noticeable in dreams are often outside the control of the dreamer. During lucid dreaming, however, the dreamer is normally self-aware. Dreams can create creative thought and be inspirational. Centuries passed and the culture give meaning to dreams. The interpretation of dreams dates back up to 5000 BC. Many such dreams were recorded in Mesopotamia on clay tablets. Even during the times of the mighty Greek and Roman empires, dreams were believed to be direct messages from the gods or from the deceased. They were considered to predict the future. Some people even believed that dreams could be incubated and were considered prophetic. Sigmund Freud wrote in detail about dream theories and interpretations. According to him, dreams were manifestations of humans' deepest desires and anxieties, mostly related to represent childhood memories or obsessions. He developed a technique to interpret dreams and designed a series of guidelines to understand the motives and sights observed in those dreams. For native Australians, the dreaming is very common, as at almost all levels it is understood as the timeless time of creation. Consider the Dreamtime stories. Back in Mesopotamia, the Sumerians left stories based upon dreams which date back to 3100 BC. During the 7th century BC, even Ashurbanipal, the wise king, considered the importance of dreaming. Assyrians and Babylonians divided them as good, being sent by the gods, and as bad, being sent by the demons. They believed that dreams were either omens or prophecies. Back in 2000 BC, Egyptians wrote down their dreams on papyrus. Those having colorful, significant dreams were thought to be special and blessed of gods. They considered them as the oracles, or bringing messages from their gods. To receive divine revelation, they believed that dreaming was vital and used to sleep in special dream beds in their sanctuaries in the hope of receiving guidance or even healing from those gods. In Chinese history, they dwelt on two aspects of dreaming. In one, the soul of the individual was free from the body during sleep and could journey into the realm of the dream world. In the other, the soul's lower aspect remained within the physical counterpart. The Indian text, Upanishads, written about 900 to 500 BC, considered two different interpretations of dreaming. In one, it is said that dreams are merely the expressions of inner desires, and in the other, it is believed that the soul leaves the body it is in when awake. Morpheus, the Greek god of dreams, sent warnings and prophecies to those sleeping in temples and shrines. Ancient Greeks believed that their gods visited the dreamers physically, that they could enter in through crevices and small holes and exit the same way after the divine messages were delivered. During the 5th century BC, Antiphon wrote the first Greek book on dreams. Other cultures had a great influence on the Greeks' belief that the soul left the sleeping body. During 469 to 399 BC, Hippocrates theorized that during the day the soul receives images and during the night it produces images. Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC, believed that dreams caused physiological activity, believing that dreams are produced by thought, even by conversations of the dreamer during the previous day's events, thoughts, considerations, and encounters. In Judaism, dreams were thought as being part of earthly experience, and therefore they could be interpreted and lessons learned. A good explanation of this can be found in Talmud, Tractate Barachot, Part 2. Hebrews strictly related their dreams with their belief. They were, as you know, monotheistic, believing that dreams were the voice of one God alone. They differentiated the good ones being from God and bad ones from the evil spirits. They too incubated dreams to receive divine revelation. Consider the prophet Samuel, who would lie down and sleep in the temple of Shiloh before the ark and receive the word of God, the word of the Lord. Christians share their dreams with Hebrews, considering them to be supernatural elements, as the Old Testament, which has many stories of dreams with divine inspiration. Consider Jacob's dream about travel from earth to heaven. Many Christians preached that God talked to his people through their dreams. UFO myths of today also include elements of this belief. According to Yain R. Edgar, the role of dreams in Islam is greatly emphasized. Allegedly, dream interpretation is the only way that a Muslim can receive revelations from Allah after the death of the very last prophet Muhammad. Some philosophers argued that what we consider as the real world can only be an illusion. It is a skeptical hypothesis. This idea was first introduced by Zhuangzi and discussed in Hinduism. Descartes in the 17th century has formally introduced it into Western philosophy in his Meditations on First Philosophy. American natives and older Mexican civilizations consider dreams as a way of visiting and contacting their ancestors. Some Native Americans use vision quests as the rite of passage. They fast and pray until the anticipated dream is received and shared with the rest of the tribe. In the Middle Ages, dreams were harshly and negatively interpreted. They were considered being evil and as temptations from the devil. Many believed that during sleep the devil could fill the human mind with corrupt and harmful thought. And even, believe it or not, the founder of Protestantism, Martin Luther, believed dreams were the work of the devil. Now consider how Jehovah's Witnesses and the like claim that Satan can put images there to make you believe in lies. On the other hand, the Catholic St. Augustine and St. Jerome claimed that the direction of their lives was influenced by their dreams. When we speak of art, we cannot ignore the role of dreams. For instance, Goya created an etching which he called "The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters." Salvador Dali created a painting with the concept "Dream caused by the flight of a bee around a pomegranate, second before awakening," in 1944. Rousseau's last painting was "The Dream." In 1932, Pablo Picasso painted his "Le Rêve," the Dream. Dreams have taken a prominent spot in world literature. The Book of the Duchess, if you are familiar with, and the vision in regards to Piers Plowman are exquisite visions in literature. Let us not forget the works of Cicero and Lucien of Samosal long before. We discover dreams in fantasy and fiction literature since the 19th century. One of the best-known dream worlds is the Wonderland from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, and Looking Glass Land from Through the Looking Glass. Carroll's logic is very similar to actual dreams and their possible realism. Think now of P. Lovecraft's dream cycle and the never-ending story, and the world of Fantasia, desert of lost dreams, sea of possibilities, and the swamps of sadness. There are so many science fiction subjects today, and I recommend one to search and enjoy reading them. Or you may choose to watch them in film, and you can only be fascinated. Now, Freud considers dreams to be expressions of the dreamer's deepest fears and desires. In films like 1945's Spellbound, the The Manchurian Candidate in 1962, Field of Dreams in 1989, Inception 2010, one can extract important clues from truly surreal dreams. But many of our dreams today are straightforward, real depictions of our desires, fantasies, and fears. The narrative used in those films seems to undermine the dreamer's and audience's sense of security. Consider horror films such as Carrie of 1976, Friday the 13th, 1980, and An American Werewolf in London, 1981, for example. Do you remember Dreamscape in 1984? And The Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984? But there's a remake of it in 2010. Ursula K. Le Guin's lead in The Lethe of Heaven in 1971 shows that dreams can change reality retroactively. Peter Weir's 1977 Australian film, The Last Wave, if you remember, simply delves into the nature of dreams from one of his Aboriginal characters, where it states, "Dreams are the shadow of something real." Dreams also play great roles in video games. Consider Mario and Luigi. Sigmund Freud of the 19th century developed a theory which considers the contents of dreams being driven by the unconscious wish fulfillment. He named dreams as a royal road to the unconscious. He theorized that what is contained in dreams reflects the dreamer's unconscious mind. According to him, the important unconscious desires relate to early childhood memories and experiences. He describes them as having manifest and latent content. Latent content relates to deeper unconscious fantasies, while manifest content remains meaningless. But manifest content obscures the latent content. According to Freud, most of the latent content remains sexual in nature. In his work, he discusses supernatural origins in dreams and occult sciences in his lectures on psychoanalysis. However, Carl Jung rejected most of Freud's theories. He suggested that dreams should be seen as messages to the dreamer, and that for their own well-being the dreamer needs to pay attention. He believed that dreams are revelations to solve religious problems and fears. He claimed that recurring dreams demanded constant attention, possibly something that the dreamer has been neglecting. According to him, memories formed through the day can play a great role in dreams. These memories leave impressions for the unconscious to deal with when the ego is resting. He argued that all dreams are part of one great web of psychoanalytical and psychological factors. Fritz Perls presented his theory on dreams as part of his holistic nature of Gestalt therapy. He considered dreams as the projections of self and those parts which were probably ignored or suppressed. Jung argued that the dreamer represents an aspect of self in those dreams. Perls expanded upon this, saying that even inanimate objects observed therein can represent aspects of the dreamer. Dreamers are usually asked to imagine being an object in a dream and then describe it. This way, the characteristic of the object which corresponds with the dreamer's personality can be brought to the surface. Well, I thank you for spending this time with me and sharing these few small talks with you. I am Suren.